From the gates of an ancient palace to the discovery that caused mass migration seeking riches, here are 10 unbelievable discoveries that change history. But first, thanks Stan for sharing our videos and subscribing to our channel. We appreciate you spreading the word about American Eye, and we're sure you'll enjoy this upcoming video. Number 10. The Sutton Hoo Helmet. This remarkable helmet is currently being held at the British Museum in London, and it was discovered in 1939. It's a rather remarkable discovery, showing superb Viking metal craftsmanship. This iron and bronze alloy helmet consists of movable pieces that includes protection of the cheeks, nose, and guards the neck. It appears to have been made in either Sweden or England during the 7th century and was found with Viking boats and golden treasure. Not only is it in excellent condition, but it also sports a pretty sweet mustache, making it a pretty epic discovery. This helmet was found in a tomb that contained a ship, which was a common practice among Vikings. The helmet also displays the classic poem Beowulf, which is set in Sweden. This photo here shows a replica of what it would have looked like about 1400 years ago. Number 9. Ollantaytambo. This pre-Incan fortress has enormous rock walls with extremely tight-fitting rocks that also weigh about 50 tons each. These stones were certainly no easy task to move, and they need to be quarried from a mountaintop only about 7 miles away. They also need to get these mammoth 50-ton stones over a river canyon and over a 1,000-foot cliff. These stones actually date back to an unknown time period of construction, but were believed to have been used as a royal estate for Emperor Pachacuti. This is found about 45 miles by road from the city of Cusco at an altitude of 9,160 feet. Here we see the palmatali, which were used to try to cultivate the rocky land of the Andes Mountains. Other things like this found in here, called the Bath of the Princess, are also quite intriguing. This is more evidence of other civilizations all across the world being able to construct massive works of engineering. Number 8. Megalithic Temples of Malta. The islands of Malta and Gozo are home to some quite impressive ancient structures that you might not know about. This peaceful civilization possessed extremely advanced technology and were able to construct enormous temples. The Gigantia temple complex predates the pyramids and are more than 5,500 years old. It's amazing that something like this can survive that long. These structures are designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in order to ensure their protection. The people on the island of Gozo claim that these were not actually constructed by your average man. Oh no. Legends tell of a story of a giantess reproducing with a common man, and their offspring was able to construct these while hanging on her shoulder. This temple rises about 20 feet high and were made with stones, some that weigh as much as 50 tons. Number 7. The Rosetta Stone. While Napoleon's armies came marching through Egypt in 1798, a French soldier discovered this massive stone while walking through the small town of Rosetta. Pierre-François Bouchard is credited with this discovery, and he soon realized this isn't any normal stone. They noticed that there were 3 different languages on this: Ancient Greek, Demotic, and most importantly, hieroglyphics. Greek was the ruling language at the time, and the script was written in these 3 different languages, so all government officials could understand it. What was so special about this discovery was that some people already knew how to read ancient Greek, so they were able to translate the text and finally decipher hieroglyphics. This was essential for us to actually understand the pharaohs of Egypt and their ancient culture. It's currently on display at the British Museum in London. Number 6. Lascaux Cave. The rock art at Lascaux in southern France has been described as one of the most important cultural assets in the history of humanity, and the way it was discovered is quite amazing. It was found by an 18-year-old French person, Marcel Ravida, in 1940, and he returned with a few friends to check it out. They were all amazed by the discovery, and it seemed like the cave was unexplored for thousands of years, and they were right. This cave contains nearly 2,000 images that date back to over 17,000 BC. Over 900 of these images can be identified as animals, and allows for archaeologists to understand what animals roamed Europe around this time, such as large cats and bison. Some believe that the paintings were actually made after successful hunting excursions. Number 5. Sutter's Mill Gold Discovery. Just by finding a few flakes at the base of the Sierra Nevada mountains sparked one of the largest migrations in history and eventually made California the country's most populated state. In 1848, James Marshall found some gold at Sutter's Mill, and word got around pretty quickly that there was gold out in California. Getting rich quick was on everyone's mind. In 1848, the population of San Francisco was only about 1,000 people, but by 1850, it was a bustling city with a population over 20,000. Fortune seekers from all over the world, like China, Germany, Mexico, Ireland, Turkey, and of course, the eastern United States, moved to California during this period. California officially became a state in 1850, partially thanks to there being gold here. If this moment in history never happened, the western United States would most likely be much less developed and less rich. Now you know why California is often called the Golden State. Number 4. Antikythera Mechanism. People certainly knew the Greeks were advanced, but no one knew what they were truly capable of until this extraordinary advanced tool was found, known as the Antikythera Mechanism. In the year 1900, Greek divers collecting sponges came across an amazing discovery of a wrecked Greek ship off the coast of the island of Antikythera in the Aegean Sea. At first glance, it just sort of looks like a chunk of random corroded metal, but it actually can predict astronomical events far in advance. But this piece of equipment, far ahead of its time, was made in 200 BC. Underwater archaeologists in deep-sea diving suits like you see here came across a human skull fragment that survived at least 2,000 years underwater. They also found this piece of jawbone that included 3 teeth. This could help us finally figure out who exactly was transporting this unbelievable device. Number 3. Ancient City of Persepolis. The city of Persepolis was the ancient capital of Persia, and it was founded by powerful kings such as Darius and Xerxes in the 6th century BC. This historic city was looted by Alexander the Great after his military campaigns. Some believe as an act of vengeance against the Persians, he burnt down the city since Xerxes sacked much of Greece. This was originally discovered in the 1930s, and excavations appear to be concluded until they came across this massive ancient gate. It's believed that it wasn't just an ordinary gate, but an unbelievable feat of architecture and a huge display of wealth, kind of like what we see in this illustration. It was the gate to Xerxes' palace and displays irreplaceable artwork. This was later dubbed the Gate of All Nations, since it displayed Xerxes' name in various languages of nations that he ruled over. Number 2. The Skeleton of Lucy. Who knew one skeleton could essentially change history? This skeleton completely baffled archaeologists. The theory of evolution really seemed to be nothing but a theory, but when a 3.2 million-year-old skeleton is uncovered that's not quite human and not quite ape, you have to wonder. They concluded that this was an early species of human that walked on 2 feet, had much more advanced frontal lobes, which would support the theory of evolution. This discovery helped Darwinism gain more support, and many were quick to dismiss it as a hoax. The skeleton only stood about 3'7", and many thought it was just a skeleton of an ape. It's been accepted by many mainstream archaeologists that this is actually a species known as the Australopithecus, and is a key factor to human origins. And number 1. King Tut's tomb. We're sure you probably heard of this legendary discovery before, but it remains the most significant discovery of ancient Egypt, and the relics from his tomb are simply breathtaking. This was an untouched tomb of a pharaoh that all archaeologists dream of discovering. Howard Carter is credited with this discovery and was funded by a wealthy Englishman named Lord Carnarvon. Carter engaged in Egyptology for much of his life, but he was simply awestruck when he excavated this tomb in 1922. The granite sarcophagus contained 3 coffins, and the most recognizable piece of this discovery was King Tut's golden funerary mask that we see here, and his gold coffin. The royal mummy of a teenage pharaoh was left undisturbed for more than 3,000 years. They also came across this dagger made out of meteorite and other priceless gold jewelry. No longer will historians need to simply imagine what the tomb of a pharaoh would look like after seeing this discovery.